Spinal meningitis was as scary as your birth. I was ironing again, and I guess that's all I did. But you were laying on the sofa. The other boys were out playing, and you were just a little guy, and you were laying on the sofa, and you were very hot, and I thought you were cutting a tooth because you'd had some trouble cutting teeth. So I just kept busy with my job because you were laying there. But you were still very much a baby. But I could see that you were starting to jerk a little bit while you were laying on the sofa. And, I went over and I touched your head, and you were just burning up. And I used a rectal thermometer and checked your temp. And the thermometer went to 106, and it was over the line. And I thought, oh my goodness. So I called the doctor, and we had established a doctor there. I can't remember his name. But I told him what symptoms you had, and he said, do not just go immediately. Come to the hospital now. And he said, I'll meet you there. And I was able to drop the other kids off and took you to the hospital. And as I came to the hospital in the car, you were lying on the seat. You were already unconscious. You were in a coma already. And I carried you towards the door, and here comes the doctor out of the hospital running toward me, and he took you out of my arms, and he brought you in the hospital, and immediately did a couple of things. He lifted up your neck, and you just screamed. And he, of course, felt of you, and I told him what your temp was rectally, and he said, I suspect spinal meningitis. He said, there is another child here who has it, or has it, or suspected that she had it. I think she had it. And you had all the symptoms, and he just started medicine right away. He put a cut in your ankle, and he just put the tube right into your ankle and injected the medicine immediately into you. And I think that saved your life. I honestly do. And it was an Indian baby, an Indian girl, and it doesn't matter, but it was, thank goodness for that, because I don't think you probably would have lived. Then we got you into a private room. You were quarantined because you had, after they tested you, had the type of meningitis that was contagious. And we had to all take sulfa tablets. We all had to take medication to prevent us from getting it. And we had to tell everybody we knew had been in contact with you that they needed to get medication from their doctors to, hopefully not have you pass it on to anybody else. And so we told everybody we knew, but for a while we didn't tell anybody because we were afraid we were going to lose you. You went into, twice your heart stopped beating, and twice, first you went into convulsions, and then while you were in convulsions the first time, your heart stopped beating, and everybody in the hospital and started running to our room. I don't know, we ran down the hall and said you were convulsing, and people can't, I can just see people running in the hallway to save you. And twice you had a situation where we thought you were going to die both times. And then you just went into a coma and laid there, and we didn't know what was next. The doctor told us that sometimes a coma will last for a few hours, sometimes it'll last for weeks, months can, and we just had no idea. But he said we'll just have to wait and see, and then after we thought you were going to live, after these episodes, the doctor warned us that we don't know what kind of after effects that you're going to have, because often with spinal meningitis there is brain damage. There can be other kinds of damage that affects the child for the rest of their lives. So we were just wondering, where it was going to lead. And we called our parents, Johnny and Cora, and my mom and dad came over in one car. Dad drove, and we went back to the house to greet them. Let's see, how was this? No, I guess what my dad said later was, we knew that if you were home, that he was dead, and that if you were still gone in the hospital, that he was alive. That's how my dad put it. And we were still with you in the hospital, and you made it. And it took about, I don't know, 14, 18 hours maybe before you came out of the coma. But I was in the room, and I don't remember if your dad was, but we had a cot that we stayed with you all the time. And I know that the first, movements, I heard you squeak a little or move a little, and you said, Mom. And Lord, if that wasn't the best thing that we ever experienced. And then you gradually got better, but it took a long time. We didn't know for sure how many words you were saying, and we were watching all the time to see if, you were brain damaged. But the thing that you did have that affected you long after you got better, so to speak, was that you couldn't walk for a while. You were unable to walk. You crawled. And I don't know why, but that's what happened. And you were very irritable. And we spent a lot of time in Osseo that summer. Almost seems to me that we were moving, and we were storing our furniture and then moving to Ripon, and that was why we spent so much time with Cora and Johnny and Mom and Dad. And you cried a lot. We had to hold you and cuddle you a lot because you were just apparently in pain and just not feeling well.